So yeah, that kind of reminds me of this one time when I was on a long haul from Sirius out to a colony in Fomalhaut. Been flying for a good while when my nav system chimed there was a little pit stop joint a few light years ahead. Figured I could use a stretch and some grub, so I dropped out of hyper. After I docked and disembarked, I found a little hole-in-the-wall place that was always open. It was pretty close by. The station was in its night cycle, but when I walked in, there were 3 green boys sitting there. All of them turned to look at me with those big black eyes. I nodded, sat down at the counter a few stools away, and ordered a burger and a coffee. One of the green boys polished off his drink and said something to me that sounded like a question. I didn't speak Regalian, so I pulled out my little beat-up translator and gestured for him to go at it again. "What are you doing in here?" he asked. Now, I was positive this was headed for trouble. And after a moment of silence, he turned and looked at his friends and then said, "I thought we cornered the market on ugly around here." It took a second, but we all burst out laughing, and another ordered me whatever they were drinking. We shut that place down, and I woke up in front of my ship's airlock with a headache and a data slate full of pictures of me and the green boys running wild through the tourist concourses. Wonder whatever happened to those fellas. Alright, well here's how I see it. You wake up the next day feeling the ache in your head, but a smile creeping across your face. You glance at the data slate. The pictures pop up. There's one where you're mid-laugh, one where you're on a makeshift racetrack in the station, a couple of shots with your arms around those green boys as they're all trying to strike the same goofy pose. It's clear you had a night that could only happen in the outer reaches of the galaxy. You shake it off, get a good breakfast, prepare for the next leg of your journey. But something nags at you, a thought that won't quite settle. A flicker of curiosity. Those green boys, they weren't just a random pit stop encounter. There was something about the way they joked with you, the way they seemed like they knew exactly who you were when you walked in. Like they were expecting you or something. You head to the comms console to start your pre-flight checks, and almost instinctively, you pull up the registry for that pit stop station. You cross-reference it with some old cargo logs, and that's when things get interesting. The station isn't just some random refueling stop. It's linked to a few off-the-record projects, ones that might involve contacts you'd rather not cross paths with. And then buried in one of those logs, there's a name, a green boy no less, tied to some serious research and some deep space anomalies. You sit back. Coffee's cold by now, but your mind's buzzing. Maybe your little night out wasn't just a coinky-dink. Maybe those green boys weren't just looking for fun. Maybe they were trying to find you. Or maybe you were part of something bigger than just a burger and a drink and you don't know it yet. Before you can dive deeper into it, the ship's comms chirp, pulling you out of your thoughts. A message flashes across your screen. Secure transmission incoming. And then the name attached to it? The one green boy you had joked with. The first one who cracked you up. Looks like your journey is about to take a few unexpected turns after all.